Schizophrenia. The word itself evokes a sense of mystery and fear. It is a term that carries with it a heavy weight, a sense of the unknown, and a deep-seated anxiety about the mind's fragility. It is a mental illness that casts a long shadow, affecting how a person thinks, feels, and interacts with the world. The impact of schizophrenia is profound, altering the very fabric of an individual's reality and their connection to those around them. Imagine a world where thoughts become jumbled, where reality blurs with hallucinations, and where the very essence of self seems fractured. This disarray in the mind can lead to a life filled with confusion, fear, and isolation. This is the reality for millions around the world living with schizophrenia. Each day presents a new challenge, a new battle to maintain a sense of normalcy and connection in a world that often feels alien and unpredictable. For centuries, schizophrenia remained an enigma, its causes shrouded in speculation and misunderstanding. Early theories ranged from demonic possession to moral failings, reflecting the limited knowledge and deep-seated fears of the times. Families struggled to cope, often facing stigma and isolation. The lack of understanding and effective treatments meant that many were left to navigate this challenging condition alone, often in silence and shame. But in recent decades, a new understanding has begun to emerge, one that delves deep into the very building blocks of our being, our genes. Advances in genetic research have opened new pathways to understanding the biological underpinnings of schizophrenia. This essay embarks on a journey into the heart of schizophrenia, exploring the profound influence of genetics on this complex disorder. We will examine how genetic variations can predispose individuals to schizophrenia and how these insights are paving the way for new treatments and interventions. We will delve into the history of schizophrenia research, unravel the intricate workings of genes, and shed light on the complex interplay between our genetic makeup and the environment we live in. By understanding the genetic factors, we can better appreciate the challenges faced by those with schizophrenia and work towards a future where stigma is replaced with empathy and effective support. The quest to understand schizophrenia's origins is a testament to human curiosity and our relentless pursuit of knowledge. This journey has spanned centuries, driven by the desire to unravel the mysteries of the human mind and to find answers to one of the most perplexing mental health conditions known to humanity. For centuries, theories abounded, often blaming external factors or flawed character. In ancient times, mental illness was frequently attributed to supernatural forces or moral failings. People believed that those suffering from schizophrenia were possessed by spirits or were being punished for their sins. Some pointed to stressful life events as triggers, while others attributed it to dysfunctional family dynamics. These explanations, though well-intentioned, often led to stigma and misunderstanding, further isolating those affected by the disorder. However, the advent of genetics revolutionized our understanding of this perplexing disorder. The discovery of DNA and the subsequent mapping of the human genome opened new avenues for research, allowing scientists to explore the biological underpinnings of schizophrenia in unprecedented detail. Scientists began to recognize that schizophrenia, like many other mental illnesses, is not simply a consequence of life experiences or personal failings. Brain imaging studies revealed structural and functional abnormalities in the brains of those with schizophrenia, suggesting a biological basis for the disorder. Instead, it is deeply intertwined with our genetic inheritance, the blueprint of life passed down through generations. Research has shown that individuals with a family history of schizophrenia are at a higher risk of developing the disorder, highlighting the role of genetics in its manifestation. This revelation marked a turning point, shifting the focus from blame and shame to a more compassionate and scientific approach. Understanding the genetic components of schizophrenia has paved the way for more effective treatments and interventions, offering hope to those affected and their families. This genetic connection is not about finding a single schizophrenia gene. The complexity of the disorder means that it cannot be traced back to a single genetic mutation or anomaly. Instead, it involves a complex interplay of multiple genes, each contributing a small part to an individual's overall risk. Researchers have identified numerous genetic variations that are associated with an increased risk of schizophrenia, but no single gene is solely responsible. This intricate genetic dance, influenced by environmental factors, determines an individual's susceptibility to developing this disorder. Environmental factors such as prenatal exposure to infections, malnutrition, and psychosocial stressors can interact with genetic predispositions, further complicating the picture. Understanding this interplay is crucial for developing comprehensive strategies to prevent and treat schizophrenia, ultimately improving the lives of those affected by this challenging condition. To grasp the role of genetics in schizophrenia, it's crucial to understand the fundamental language of life genes. Genes are the blueprint of our existence, the very code that shapes who we are. They are the instructions that guide the development and functioning of every cell in our body. Without genes, life as we know it would not be possible. Imagine genes as tiny segments of DNA, the molecule that carries our genetic instructions. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a long molecule that contains our unique genetic code. It is composed of two strands that coil around each other to form a double helix. Each strand is made up of 4 chemical bases: adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. The sequence of these bases determines the information available for building and maintaining an organism. These instructions dictate everything from our eye color to our height, and yes, even our predisposition to certain illnesses, including mental disorders like schizophrenia. Our genes are like a set of instructions for making proteins, which are the building blocks of our bodies. They determine how our bodies grow, develop, and function. Some genes are responsible for physical traits, such as eye color and height, while others influence our susceptibility to diseases. Each gene carries a specific code that instructs our cells to produce particular proteins. Proteins are essential molecules that perform a wide variety of functions in our bodies. They are involved in virtually every process within our cells, from providing structure and support to facilitating chemical reactions. The process of protein synthesis begins with the transcription of a gene into messenger RNA, mRNA, which is then translated into a specific protein. Proteins are the workhorses of our bodies, responsible for a myriad of functions, including the intricate workings of our brain. They play a crucial role in the structure and function of our cells, tissues, and organs. In the brain, proteins are involved in the transmission of signals between neurons, the regulation of neurotransmitter levels, and the maintenance of synaptic connections. Without proteins, our brains would not be able to function properly. In the context of schizophrenia, variations in these genes can subtly alter brain chemistry and function, increasing an individual's vulnerability to developing the disorder. Schizophrenia is a complex mental disorder that affects how a person thinks, feels, and behaves. It is believed to be caused by a combination of genetic and environmental factors. Variations in certain genes can affect the production and function of proteins involved in brain development and neurotransmission, leading to an increased risk of developing schizophrenia. Think of it like this. If our genes are the musical notes, then proteins are the melody they create. Just as a composer arranges notes to create a symphony, our genes arrange the sequence of amino acids to create proteins. Each protein has a unique structure and function, much like each melody has a unique sound and rhythm. The harmony of our biological processes depends on the precise arrangement and function of these proteins. Slight variations in the notes can change the melody, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. Similarly, even small changes in our genetic code can have significant effects on protein function and, consequently, on our health. These variations, known as genetic mutations, can be inherited from our parents or occur spontaneously. Some mutations have little to no effect, while others can lead to serious health conditions, including mental illnesses like schizophrenia. Similarly, variations in our genes can influence the delicate balance of brain chemistry, potentially leading to the development of mental illnesses like schizophrenia. Understanding the genetic basis of schizophrenia can help researchers develop better treatments and interventions. By identifying specific genetic variations associated with the disorder, scientists can gain insights into the underlying biological mechanisms and develop targeted therapies to improve the lives of those affected by schizophrenia. Unraveling the genetic complexities of schizophrenia is like piecing together an intricate puzzle. Scientists employ a variety of methods to identify genes associated with an increased risk of developing the disorder. One such method is called a genome-wide association study, GWAS. Imagine a GWAS as a massive treasure hunt, where researchers scan the entire genomes of thousands of individuals, both with and without schizophrenia. By comparing these genomes, they can pinpoint specific genetic variations that occur more frequently in individuals with the disorder. These variations, known as single nucleotide polymorphisms, SNPs, represent subtle changes in the DNA sequence. While each SNP may only increase the risk of schizophrenia by a tiny fraction, the combined effect of multiple SNPs can significantly elevate an individual's overall susceptibility. It's like having a deck of cards slightly stacked against you. While any single card might not make a big difference, the cumulative effect can significantly alter the outcome of the game.